And welcome everybody to your favorite new sports show, the hottest sports show on the block right now. Y'all know what time it is. It's Gas Presents Sports for the Culture. I'm here with the gang, the dream team, the squad. You know what time it is. Go ahead, top right, introduce yourself.
Hey, y'all know what it is, man. At Bryce XXV double I. Hey, man, you guys know what it is, aka Mr. Big Leaguer, aka Mr. Miyagi himself. We here for another great episode, man. Stay tuned. Gas Sports for the Culture, man. We got a ton of stuff coming for you the rest of 2020. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Bottom left, introduce yourself.
It's your boy Demolo Vago, and shout out to all my young in the face when it comes to females and gentlemen drinking. Stay hydrated during these hot times. We're about to get into the hot days of summer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A face only a mother could love. Absolutely. Bottom right, introduce yourself.
Back again, man. T Boogie, Instagram and Twitter. I guess I'm AKA Bryce Senior today. We dressed alike. That's my son.
Get out of here.
Hey, but I want to give a shout out real quick. Let me give two quick shout outs. Actually, three, man. My homie Michelle, she on the road, truck driving, loyal fan, loyal listener. My boy Hansel, same thing. I was at the airport with both of them folks. And my man Brooks, man, for coming through. BNA Music 88 on IG, man. Look to him for them beats. But let's go. Let's start the show.
Okay. We appreciate all the loyal listeners, everybody out there jumping in, joining us from all across the country, all across the world. We're gonna dive right in to the biggest news of the week, biggest news of the day. Jamal Adams going over to the Seahawks. So big trade, big splash. You know, in terms of the NFL trades, we got a safety going over to the Seahawks who've been looking for that big piece on defense. Now they get it with Jamal Adams, but at the cost of multiple first-round picks. I gotta wonder, where does this put them within the hierarchy of the NFC? T, it's only right that I begin with you.
I mean, let's make no mistake about it. I am a 49ers fan to the heart. So it might be a little homerism here, but I think it was a decent trade, but they gave up too much. I think it makes sense in terms of the caliber of athlete. He is a top tier talent, but 2 first rounds, man. You mortgage your future. You pull the Rams and Jalen Ramsey deal. So far, it didn't look like it helped them much. I'm not sure how Adams is worth more than Khalil Mack, DeAndre Hopkins, or Jalen Ramsey, but the Jets look like clear winners in that trade to me. I mean, they got 2 first rounders, a 4th rounder, and a starting caliber safety. I think the Jets won that deal, and I don't think that puts Seattle at the top of the NFC or even the division. So I'm gonna say Jets A, Seattle. You got like a C for me.
Bryce, what you think?
I think it was a good deal both ways, man. We talking about, in my opinion, a top 2 safety in the NFL. I think it's between him and Derwin James when you're talking about the top spot. Jamal Adams isn't just a safety, though. So the Seahawks are getting a versatile weapon. Last year, he had 6.5 sacks. How many safeties are doing that? I'm pretty sure he was the only one. He's going to bring you interceptions, fumble recoveries. He's the type of guy that can play in the box. He can play the deep middle. It's not much Jamal Adams can't do. And when you think of a defensive team, the way the Seahawks have been running the last 10 years now, I mean, you got to think he's going to fit right in. He's going to fit right in. Maybe we can get Legion of Boom 2.0 going in Seattle. I think T is correct when he says the Jets got a big haul, but I just don't believe that he's correct when he says the Seahawks paid too much. I mean, Jamal Adams, we could be looking at a gold jacket player down the line if he stays on this type of trajectory. So I think it was a good deal both sides, and I don't think it's a real winner, but hindsight will be the ultimate determinant in that.
Absolutely. G, how good is Jamal Adams, and how much of a difference is he going to make for the Seahawks?
Seattle's secondary has been pretty much brittle, and just him that's an upgrade on his own. And giving up the draft pick, let's say the top 10 players in the leagues now, when were those guys drafted? Not every one of those guys were a first round pick, if I'm not mistaken, right? Some of those guys were end up either late rounders for a 3rd or 2nd round pick to late 1st round pick, maybe at best. Not everybody was like a 1st round pick. the top 10 players in his leagues today. So when I think about this trade, I think the Jets got robbed. Let's be serious, because the Jets still got to trade. Matter of fact, the Jets still got to draft the right personnel to get the same kind of value what Jamal Adams is on the field right now. Because they could pick any first round pick and it could be bust. So then who really wins that? Who really wins the trade? We're talking about Seattle winning. We're talking about Seattle being a top 2 contender in their own division between them and the 49ers right now. Like, my personal opinion, for Seattle to like put the cherry on top of this all season, they have to retain one of the pieces that they're trying to figure out right now with Clowney. If I'm not mistaken, right? They gotta make him sign the contract for that defense to be legit at this point right now, to at least to contend with the 49ers defense, and at least to go up against them, because it will be what? You're talking about Russell Wilson versus Torn Star Jimmy? And then right there, who you taking? Who you taking? You taking Torn Star Jimmy or Russell Wilson in the fourth quarter with like 2 minutes to play? Like, I don't even think that's a toss-up. I think that's a one direct answer. We're all going to go with Russell Wilson.
But
When
does
it comes
the
to that
Jamal
pick,
Adams addition make them as good of defense as the 49ers just off one guy? I don't know.
I think if they could get Clowney, if they could hold on to Clowney with Jamal Adams, I think that defense with the 49ers, I want to say the 49ers A1 and Seattle will be A2, because we also got to talk about coaching staff. The 49ers defensive coaches, that's the man. Look how he had the boys running around during the season. I thought he was the head coach sometimes. So right now, I personally think Seattle is not that far away. I personally will crown them as the NFC contenders. My number 1 pick will be the Seattle going into the season as my favorites, just because they have Russell Wilson. And God knows if you give that man the ball, he's a dangerous guy, both on his feet and with his arm.
Hey, let me jump in and speak to that real quick. So I agree, because to a certain degree, Seattle had a top 10 offense and a bottom 10 defense. They gave up almost 6,000 yards last year. I think the Redskins was like the team right below them. So if you watch the Redskins defense, you've seen Seattle defense. You know, so he definitely solidified that defense. But I think the guy might be, and I hate to use this word, but I think he might be a little overrated, especially at that price tag. I mean, like Bryce, you talked about what he had, 6 sacks, 6.5 sacks a season or something, the last 2 seasons. The guy has pass rushed more than the entire Seattle secondary last season combined. So he's had more attempts to get those sacks. He's an in-the-box guy, which makes sense, right? You got to stop the run. And then they fake a cover. I scoured through the highlights, and I see him covering a bunch of average tight ends. I'm going to just be honest with you. I think the price, are you telling me he's more impactful than Khalil Mack? Are you telling me he's more impactful than Jalen Ramsey? No. If he was, the Jets would have been a better team. The Jets would have been maybe a contender, but they weren't. I don't even think people were scared to play the Jets. I mean, he's a guy you definitely have to scheme around, but he's in a new system. He knows how to play cover 3, but Seattle doesn't blitz that much. He was in a scheme that blitzed almost 40% of the game. So, of course, he got the run stops. Of course, he has the hurries. Of course, well, he didn't even get a lot of hurries. He has a couple sacks, and he has 2 interceptions. That's alarming. The guy that they traded for, McDougal, has 10 interceptions in his career. He had 5 last season. Jamal Adams has 2 his entire career. I feel like if you put me on the field for that amount of snaps, I would have found the ball twice myself. So I think it's a little overrated. But I see you roll your eyes a little bit, Bryce. What you got to say about that?
No. I'm not rolling my eyes, man. I was actually looking. I had to fact check a couple of them stats, man. I had to pull out my fact checker on that.
Hey. Call
Hey, look, my Googles didn't load fast enough, so I'm gonna go ahead and take your word on that on a couple of them stats, man. But I will say that I think you're a little off base, you know, especially we start comparing guys as he's impactful as this guy, that guy. I'm not sure, but what I do know is when Khalil Mack got traded to the Bears, he literally one defensive player turned him into a contender, and that's a fact. Jamal Adams, I'm not going to say he's going to have that big of an impact. But what I will tell you is when you get a player of that caliber on the defensive side with a defensive-minded coach in a defensive-minded system on a defensive-minded team, I'm letting you know right now he's going to come in and he's going to change how that team is run, especially how that defense is run. It just is what it is. He's one of the most impactful players in the league on the defensive side of the ball. I saw it, like you mentioned, Redskins had a horrible defense last year, but I saw it firsthand how Jamal Adams can affect the game, especially when he played the Redskins. And he had 6.5 sacks. I mean, I get it. He was blitzing more than the average safety, but you got pass rushers that rush the passer 350 times in a year and end up with less than 6.5 sacks.
That's
so,
a good point.
We're talking about a rare talent when you're looking at Jamal Adams. This isn't just an in-the-box safety. He isn't just a drop-back guy. He makes plays. He's a playmaker. Put him anywhere on the field. And now that he has a team that has an offense, a guy like Russell Wilson on the other side, I guarantee you, you're going to see a Jamal Adams that you did not see in New York. And really, it's going to be the same Jamal Adams. He's just going to get a lot more hype now.
Hey, let me rebuttal that. My man Brooks said he's a sideline-to-sideline guy. I agree to a point, but I'm going to give you another safety. I'm not going to say his name. I'm going to just say his stats. And you tell me what you think. 3 seasons, last 3 seasons like Jamal Adams. This guy has 302 tackles. Jamal Adams has 273. Comparable, right? This guy has 11 picks. Your man has 2. This guy has 4 forced fumbles. Your guy has 6. He does have the 12 sacks. My mystery guy has 5. Are you really taking those extra sacks over those extra interceptions, getting the ball back for your defense? And this guy, and I'm gonna tell you who he is. It's Jordan Poyer. In my mind, Jordan Poyer has better numbers than Jamal Adams the last 3 years. So I'm gonna say a little bit overrated. He was in a system that fit what he did really well. He's not about to come manhandle George Kittle, man. That's just my opinion.
I don't know, T. Talking about defense, isn't this more than the numbers? I'll tell you, you mentioned Khalil Mack, Bryce. But Khalil Mack that year, he made a crazy impact. And, I don't know how many sacks he had, but I'll tell you that he was felt on every single snap. So it was, bigger than an impact. But what I will say, though, is Khalil Mack was a pass rusher. That's a guy that, for 2 first-rounders, you trading for Khalil Mack. You know what you're getting. You know you're getting somebody that's going to be able to impact the game on every play. My only concern is I'm wondering how much can Jamal Adams truly affect the game across the board, although in the Seahawks system, that's a very intriguing spot.
So you don't think Bobby Wagner and Jamal Adams won't be a great combination?
No, they are.
It's going to be crazy.
To me, that's 2 linebackers. To me, that's 2 linebackers.
That's what you need.
That doesn't stop Deebo Samuels from chopping him up for almost 300 yards in 2 games. So, I get it.
Deebo Samuel fractured his leg or something?
He'll be back.
Isn't your boy in crutches right now?
He'll be back.
Hair fractured. Hey, my boy ain't playing, man.
Hey, I know one thing about Jamal Adams, man. Jamal Adams has perennial all-pro talent. All-pro every year. The Seahawks just locked in a guy that's going to be in the all-pro discussion every single year for the next, I say, 5 to 8 seasons. To me, that's worth what they paid.
Hold on. So are you telling me for 2 first-round picks? Because we all know you can miss some first-round picks, right? But at the same time, those 2 first-round picks give you the ability to trade up or trade back for more picks. The more picks you get, the more chances you get to hit. And the Seahawks have to pay this guy. That's a factor we haven't talked about. They're going to pay Russ again because eventually Dak is going to be making more than Russ, and Russ is not going to have it, right? That contract is going to need to be renegotiated. The Seahawks are going to be strapped for cash. I think they only have $1 or $2 million in cap space right now. Do you tie up all your money into those 2 guys? I'm saying this. Are the Seahawks in position to make a run in the next 3 years? Are they one of the top teams in NFC?
As long as they have Russell Wilson, they're in position to make a run. That's all you need.
24, man.
I don't think they're better than the Saints. I think they're probably equal to Tampa Bay. I don't think they're better than the 49ers. I think they're going to have trouble with the Cardinals. But
look, I hear what you're saying. And I agree with a lot of what you said. But all you got to be in the NFL is one of those top 5 teams in your conference. You don't got to be the best team on paper in your conference. It doesn't matter because once the season starts, variables are at play. You got to position yourself to be one of those top 5 squads in your conference. And I think with this move, Seattle did that.
See, I got a question. So would you rather have a weak defense with a great quarterback or great defense with a semi-quarterback?
I'd rather have the great defense with the semi-quarterback, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think they can have a great – if one guy takes them from being a bottom 10 defense to a top 10 defense, then maybe it's worth all the picks and all the money and, you know.
So, T, who won the Super Bowl this year?
Who's gonna win it?
A top quarterback and an average defense.
There you go, T. That's all I needed you to remember. Remember who won the Super Bowl. That's all we need to remember. That's how the league is gonna play it out. But like, look how the Chiefs did it. Like they thought about it. All right, we're gonna pay that one prime defensive player, which they did to take care of that. And then the rest of those contracts, they're gonna be like what, 2 to 3 year contracts at most from here on out, just so that they can have some cap space. At the same time, what that GM does, drafts great players. Like if he's trading down or trading up, like let's be serious.
You talking about they gave up 2 first rounders? Can you name a first rounder that they've had in the last 5 years that's been good? Because I don't even know any.
They haven't had much success in the first round.
Tyler
Okay,
Lockett was like a 3rd rounder.
Right.
They haven't drafted a good player in the first round.
Every year is like a 5th round pick. Kelsey, I believe, is like a 3rd round pick. So like if you don't aim at the first round, you're talking about players from 2nd and down, which that's what you're doing. You're doing your job. You're finding gems. That's what the Chiefs has been doing. And now the 49ers, they've been having good luck the years before where they get to draft high, so they pick gems already. Like Nick Bosa, that was the gem. Like you get what was it? He's the 1st round pick last year, the 2nd round pick, the
whole defensive line is 1st round picks.
There you go.
Hey,
so
G making a great point. G's making a great point right now, man. When you're constantly picking 28, 27, 29, you don't get a shot at these stars, these studs like a Bosa or like a Chase Young, like the Skins just got, because that is your punishment for being a good team. So when you're one of those teams and eventually you're in this position, you might have to make a move to get one of those blue chips.
But doesn't that go both ways? If that first round is really a 2nd rounder, doesn't that make your 2nd rounder really a 3rd?
Definitely. But I just mean like you don't have the same opportunity to get the talent, mainly because you've been a good team. So you don't get those top choices. So you have to manufacture that in some way. Jamal Adams has only been in the league for 3 years. I mean, we're talking all this about a guy that's only played for 3 seasons. He's already got all pros on his belt. 25 years old. The sky's the limit for the dude. But G, you brought up a guy a little earlier, man. The top quarterback in the league right now, Patrick Mahomes. Big shout out to Patrick Mahomes for securing the bag, becoming a owner of the Kansas City Royals. That is a major, major accomplishment. But the sport he has just bought into is running into a few problems, and that brings us to our COVID updates, man. So the Miami Marlins have seen an influx of COVID-19, and it seems like they've got about 19 people, players and coaches that have tested positive for the virus. Just when we thought we had our sports back, we see things are threatening to take it away once again. The Major League Baseball is taking the proper steps to try to isolate the team. So they have canceled the team's upcoming games. They had a series versus the Orioles. Then they had one coming up this weekend versus the Nationals. So neither of those will happen. But this could be a little look into what the future may hold for some other sports. Guys, what was your first thought when you seen this? Obviously, I mean, we may be thinking about other sports when we see this. I'm a big baseball guy, so this affects me directly. My team was supposed to play Miami. Gerardo, what'd you think, man, when this news first came out?
You gotta either cancel the season or do what the NBA did. Get in the bubble. Tell players either you play in a bubble, right? And say bye to your family. Where it will be the NFL, you got to say goodbye to your family for, let's say, 20 weeks. So you're talking about all season, No, plus 20 weeks because you're talking about off season and you're talking about the 17 or what is it? 17 still this year or is it 18 now? 18 weeks, 18 games, 18 week season.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about playoffs and Super Bowl, right? All in a bubble. All in a bubble. Because this whole thing, like, yeah, we're going to play in our own stadium. Clearly, that wasn't a safe bet. Look at the Marlins. And on top of that, look at Florida. They're having a spike when it comes to this epidemic. They're not even God bless those people down there. At this point, either players have to sacrifice one to have the other. You can't have both. It's like what they say. You can't have your cake and eat it too. And this is what players have to see now, especially NFL players, where like some of those players do come in with some underlying issues. Like a lot of the offensive guys, like they're tipping to the obesity, overweight. So now you got to take care of those men. Look at the one that retired the offensive line. They all shut down all that weight because they no longer need it. And then it's like, all right, and now they look healthy. So now we're talking about players. They have to sacrifice one or the other. And us as fans, we have to either acknowledge no more sports until we get a clear-cut answer to what we need to solve this issue. And if we want sports, it's like, yo, we gotta, stand together and try to make sure that these players are safe. Like, let's get a bubble. We don't need to be going to these stadiums and catching these games. Look at baseball there this weekend when you was enjoying it. It was similarly different, no one's catching those home runs the way the Yankees are saying it. Like no one's getting to catch those errors, those foul balls. We get it, but like at the end of the day, this is the safety of these people.
You bring up some good points, man. The safety of the people got to come first, and it might have to be drastic actions taken, but keeping it pushing, man. I mean, we know everybody's on quarantine, but for the guy Lou Williams down there in the NBA bubble, he couldn't stay still. My man had to pay a visit to the legendary Magic City where he was caught on camera. Hey, if somebody got one of these, it's a wrap. You see somebody with one of these camera phones, man, it's over for you. You can't go anywhere. Lou was supposed to be quarantined, got caught in Magic City. Man, is this a story or is this a non-story, man? Break it down.
No, I mean, it's definitely a story because it's pretty irresponsible. And like G said, you can't have it both ways. Like either you're committed to making it work and playing, or you need those creature comforts. You need those little things that, keep you going, keep you in a good mood. And we've seen guys leaving because the food, if the food alone, imagine what it's going to be like for, weeks, months, and you haven't seen your wife, you haven't seen your kids, you haven't seen your side girl, just to be honest, like it's a crazy situation. The MLB was supposed to be the pathway for the NFL to pull things off, and the MLB dropped the ball. And then they had something happen where I didn't even consider this factor. Marlins tested positive, even if they isolated a few guys and could field a team. Basically, the Nats said, we're not traveling to Miami. We're not even going. So now you got opposing teams saying, we're not traveling to play. We're not risking our health. You see all the NFL guys, big names, Patrick Chung, Dante Hightower, the Patriots, they're trying to get Trevor Siemian, if you ask me. But it's a lot of guys concerned about their safety. And like G said, man, it's a lot of NFL players with obesity and things. Imagine if, how old is Andy Reid? What, 60, almost 70? I mean, imagine if, God forbid something happens to him, but imagine that, you would have to stop the league. So I would have to think the NFL has to be reeling right now. And, I think everything is on the brink. It's teetering to the side of no sports till 2021.
Yeah, no, that's facts, man. The NFL is reeling. We was actually going to get to that now, man. The Chiefs, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, man, he opts out of the NFL season along with countless others. You have Marquise Goodwin. You got a host of Patriots players. Scruff, man, the NFL players are dropping like flies. Some of them have other obligations, like in Duvernay-Tardif's case. He was a med student. He's going to pursue that. He's going to pursue that side and try to help where he can in that aspect. But Scruff, what do you think, man? All these guys dropping out before the season even starts. Seems like a smart move, depending on your situation. What did it make you think?
Man, honestly, it's kind of crazy. The last, basically all day. I mean, you've been seeing like basically on the hour, different names coming out. You know, and for certain teams, it's a lot of names coming. Honestly, the dude from the Chiefs, man, he had a noble cause. You know, so I appreciate that. Dude said he said my talents are better served being a doctor out. Helping the world in that way. So I think that was the most touching of the opt outs, if you will. Now, there's a lot of different opt outs for whatever reason. Everyone's opting out. They have the right to. So I respect it 100%. It gives up an opportunity for the next man up, as they say, next man up mentality. Now, for the Pats, they lost some notable players like, Dante Hightower, Marcus Cannon, notable starters on the offensive line. So honestly, but that's the organization that's built on the next man up mentality. So next man up. Marquise Goodwin, he's not going to be playing for us this year for the Eagles, but it's all good. Next man up, Jalen Rieger. It's going to give a lot of young players the opportunity. And the thing is, there's always going to be someone that's going to be sitting there ready to take your spot. But I respect everybody that's making the decisions that they're making. It's a easier decision to make when you got a couple million in the bank already, you've been playing for a couple years, versus these young rookies that's out here trying to fight and grit for a deal. The Greg Wards of the world, they need every single snap they could get. So, I respect those, and I'm also respecting those that's out there that's going to put it up, because they love the game. They're willing to risk it for the biscuit. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely, man. We might get to the point like in those lockout shortened seasons back in the day. We got to bring in the replacements. I might have some open tryouts from some of y'all fellas, man. I see some offensive guards in the chat room. I see some offensive guards in the room. I think I see a nose tackle in the room. All right, man. Wait. One more question before we move off of COVID, man, because I got to get this COVID up off me, man. Percent chance that these major sports finish the season, 1 to 100, man. What's the percentage that we're going to finish these sports seasons?
NBA, 35.
All right,
NFL, MLB, as of right now, I want to say 10%.
All right, in NFL.
NFL, shit. Well, the way this is going on, I give them 10% as well.
Scruff, man. NBA, they in the bubble. What percentage you give them finishing?
100%. It's going to finish.
MLB, they already got 14 players out on the Marlins.
They might as well just start. They watch the whole season. 5% chance that goes.
All right, NFL, man. What do you think?
They tend to find a way, so I'm a little bit more optimistic. I'm going to go 80%.
T, same question, man. NFL.
If it's one league I think that doesn't care about the safety of their players in the NFL, I'm gonna go 90%, man. It would take somebody dying for them to stop, and they still might not.
So MLB looks like it might be the one that's losing right now. What you think, man? What percent you give it?
I'm gonna give the MLB. I'm gonna give them 40, 45%. Like it looks bad, but I think they'll get it ironed out.
All right, NBA, they in the bubble. What you think?
110%. They're already locked in. They're finishing. I don't care who plays or who doesn't. They're going to put their product on TV.
Yeah, man. I see it kind of like you guys do, man. But I think I'm gonna give the NBA the highest percent chance. I'm gonna land them around 75. NFL, man, they ruthless, man. I got to go low on the NFL because I could see them finishing a shortened season. I could see the NFL saying we just going 9-10 games. So I'm gonna go ahead and get them 30%. And MLB is lowest right now, but hey, that TV money is a hell of a dollar, man. So I'm gonna put them around 20. I'm gonna put them around 30% as well. I think we'll see one of these leagues finish. But I also think out of all three, man, one of them ain't gonna make it to the finish line. One of them ain't gonna make it to the finish line.
Hey, man. Speaking of
the Super Bowl in December, Bryce.
The Super Bowl in December.
You just said a 10-week season, right?
Oh, I mean, I'm just saying I can see it, man. I can see the NFL trying to do something to keep some sort of season alive, but it might get too much. You're talking about guys breathing on each other every play, man. I don't know.
I mean, speaking of getting finished, man, we got some other sporting news, and I feel like you get this news when there's no other sports, but we got a boxing match that's been sanctioned, and it looks like it's good to go September 12th. Two greats, two Hall of Famers, man. Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones. I've been a big fan of both of those guys. the undercard seems a little silly. I don't know if you know these guys. Well, you know Jake. Well, you know Nate Robinson, right? Former NBA dunk contest champion. And then there's a YouTube guy, Jake Paul. Don't know much about him, but he's 1-0 as a professional boxer. So what do you guys think about this matchup? You guys excited to see Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson?
I'll jump in, man. I'm super excited. I think I mentioned this when we talked about Mike Tyson versus Evander Holyfield, and I just feel like, man, if you watching it to enjoy the skills, because just like all other sports, man, some skills are timeless. The same way you always keep your jump shot, it never goes. Same way with your right hook, and we about to see two of the biggest legends of all time. I just pray that nobody gets hurt, that nobody gets injured. I'm just gonna be coming to enjoy the art that is professional boxing, man, on the highest level. And don't get me wrong, I know it's not the highest level, physically they're a little washed up, but at the same time, these are two of the great minds to ever get in the ring. And I'm excited, man. Now the undercard, I don't really care about, honestly. I got a little hunch that Nate Robb will knock this dude out. And I only seen about 30 seconds of one of this dude's fights, but I got my money on Nate Robb, and I'm taking all bets.
I mean, look, you said people keep that right hook. I don't know, man. I think people think they kept their right hook and they went right to sleep. But Scruff, what you think, man?
Honestly, it's funny, man. This is not boxing on the highest level. This is a money grab. This has money grab written all over it. This is a money grab. Shout out to Mike Tyson and Roy Jones trying to get some late cash. Feel me? They seen what's going on. They seen the verses. They seen the old heads coming back, getting their streams up. They want to get in on the action. I ain't mad at them. But honestly, I'm more interested to see the undercard fight. I want to see Nate Robinson, because now I'm a fan of multiple sports. And Nate Robinson's a dude that, he's got a football background. He's got a basketball background. Dude jumps out the gym. Dude's built like freaking, like, I don't even know, like a Pokemon like character, like some kind of like different type of out of this world athlete Nate Robinson is. I don't know who Jake Paul is, but if you're telling me that he's famous from YouTube, that tells me everything that I need to know about him and his professional athletic career. So I don't know about that. I wouldn't get in the ring with Nate Robinson if I was him, even if he's short. Little dudes sometimes, man, you never know, bro. They I'm looking forward to that. But Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones, man, like, come on, man.
G, what you think, man?
I don't know, man. I'm a big Roy Jones fan, man. My man, what was he? Middleweight, then lightweight, heavyweight champion. Man, and he's the craziest I believe he's a southpaw, right? If I'm not mistaken. Roy Jones Jr.
I don't know. I think it's been so long. I think Roy do fight southpaw. I know he's a counterpuncher. It's been so long though.
I believe he was a southpaw, and he had some of the craziest knockouts. You go back, look at his case. The fact that he went from a middleweight to a light heavyweight champ, that is no easy defeat. Like, that man, he literally jumped out the weight. Like, Canelo didn't even look big, and he's a lightweight heavyweight champ. But if you look at Roy Jones when he was a light heavyweight champ, he damn near give him like another 20 pounds, and he's a heavyweight champion.
Nah, Roy Jones was right-handed. Now I think about it. He used to fight southpaw a lot. He could fight southpaw, he could show up, but he's right-handed. But you're right. I mean, it's a difference in weight class too, man. Mike fought at heavyweight, and Roy came up from middle to fight at light heavyweight later in his career. Personally, I don't really care to see old guys fight. If you watch World Star Hip Hop, you've seen old guys fight. If you have Twitter or IG, you've seen plenty of old guys fight. I'm not really excited to watch these old guys, especially Mike, man. I don't want to see 50-year-old guys get hit in the head. Personally, I think you should find other ways to make money in this pandemic. There's a ton of ways to stream without beating on somebody or getting beat on. But I do want to see Jake Paul and Nate Robb. They got Jake Paul listed as a 6'1", and he didn't look 6'1" to me. He looked about 5'10", which puts him really close to Nate. And I want to see a professional athlete beat up a YouTuber personally. It's probably because I'm a millennial. Now my son's a YouTuber himself. He probably wants to see the YouTuber beat up the athlete. But I think there's going to be more eyes. I think at this point, Jake Paul has about 11 million followers on YouTube. I mean, I think he has more now, actually. But yeah, that's what I want to see, the undercard, if that's a thing.
Yeah,
I think it'll be
some real celebrity deathmatch type vibes. Well, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I like that. Like okay,
Something unusual.
let's scrap it up. We've been sitting in quarantine for a couple months, man. Yeah, go ahead, man. Throw me some
Wait,
unorthodox
all
fights.
these fights are gonna be exhibition, right?
It's an 8-round exhibition fight.
Yeah, a little exhibition. Hey,
talking
hopefully they don't go like Drago and my man Apollo Creed.
Oh shit!
Only next,
Oh, that's wild. That's wild.
my
Hey,
man.
guys.
Hey, look, Roy Jones' son gonna have to come for Mike Tyson's son if that happened.
Yeah, but these are like
Hey, go
with like
ahead.
headgear, right? They're
Hey,
gonna have headgear, right?
my
Look
man
at
said
that,
they
my
both
man.
one hit away.
Hey, that's a fact. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to see them guys take any more punches. Knowing what we know about CTE, man, let the legends stay legends, man. I don't want them tarnished or diminished in any way, especially for a money grab.
My
Man,
thing
you
is,
know
look
Mike
at
already
Evander
a little
Holyfield now. Evander Holyfield don't even talk straight from all the punches he took back in the 80s and the 90s. He
Yes.
has that stuttering problem. Like you hear him talk, is just like doesn't give out the best interviews, man. God bless him and everything for giving us some great moments, but like, yeah, man, we don't need to see that.
That's real. That's real, man.
word. Well, we don't that could get ugly. That could actually turn real ugly. So we ain't even
Bro,
even dwell on the old man fights no more. Feel me? But we gonna bring it back. We gonna bring it old school though. We got the old school vibes. So if y'all ain't know top five, y'all know how we do it. We do our top five, all types of random stuff, all types of goofy stuff, all types of original stuff. We're gonna bring it into sports, but we're gonna intersect the world of sports and culture as we do, and we're gonna do it in the sports world from the fashion sense. Talking about uniforms, yo. You see me? I got my Junior Seau jersey on. I got the Chargers. I got my.
R.I.P. Say,
I'm representing RIP Junior Seau. Talking about CTA. Actually, that could have been a good segue, but RIP Junior. But top five hardest uniforms. That's what we're talking about in sports history. Anything goes. MLB, NBA, NFL, college. It don't got to be nothing crazy. How y'all feeling, man? So go ahead, T. Why don't you lead us off with the top five hardest uniforms in your opinion?
all right. So this is just me, and I got to start with my 49ers. They're all black uniform. You see plenty of pictures of Kaepernick in it, and that's why it's iconic to me. You might see him taking a knee in it. You might see him kissing his tattoos in it. Just doing his thing. That black on black with the gold helmet, like every time they got on the field, got me hyped. So that black on black 49ers, especially on Kaepernick. Number 4, take me back to the 90s a little bit, man, because I was so hyped when I seen this. The Anaheim Mighty Ducks, man. And we don't give hockey enough love, but just to see, you know what I'm saying, the Bash Brothers jersey in the NHL, man, on the NHL, the EA Sports hockey game. Like, that had me hyped, man. I don't know if y'all can see it, but I got a picture of it right here. Like, whew, the duck goalie mask, man, I wanted them boys to hit a flying V out there. But, you know what I'm saying, the Triple D, Gordon Bombay, all that. All mine, I think, a 90s era. 92, they wore it up into the 2000s periodically, but the Suns, all black Suns jersey with a basketball is kind of streaking through like a sun, man. You saw it on Charles Barkley. You seen it on Kevin Johnson. You might have seen it on Steve Nash as a throwback from time to time. But yeah, that's my number 3. My number 2 and number 1 came into the league together. Expansion draft. Like I said, I grew up in the 90s, baby. The Vancouver Grizzlies, man, with the big G, the big S. I don't even know what type of blue that is, man. That teal, that aqua. I don't know what you want to call it, but to this day, man, you're gonna see somebody in a pool party with that Grizzlies jersey with a bibby or them shorts, man. And so that's my number 2. My number 1 is the Raptors with the Raptor on it. You know what I'm saying? Came into the league with the Grizzlies. T-Mac, little baby Velociraptor, little Barney on the jersey. Them boys getting buckets in the dinosaur jerseys. I love that jersey, all the colorways of it, especially the purple. If you're unfamiliar with any of them jerseys, Google it, especially them Grizzlies and them Raptors. So that's my top 5.
Very solid. Very solid. Top 5. Bryce, what you got?
Hey man, I like that 5. I actually I got 1 or 2 in that 5 in mind. But number 5, man, I'm a colors guy, man. So I had to start off with my favorite color. One of the reasons I was drawn to this jersey as a youngster, man, the green Supersonics jersey. I'm not talking about the one with the yellow in it. I'm talking about the all green one, got a little bit of red in it, the one Gary Payton used to wear. That was my jump back in the day. Moving on, I got to go with a little bit of homerism. Washington Bullets, man, the classic Washington Bullets, the red, white, and blues, man. I love those. I love those. I hated when we switched to the Wizards originally. It grew on me, but man, those Washington Bullets jerseys, you can't beat those, man. Especially the ones with red, white, and blue stripes. Number 3, man, I had to throw it to baseball. And everybody used to love this jersey back in the day. That Houston Astros jump, man. That Astros jersey is something different. The other thing I like about that Astros jerseys is there's so many variations of it. If you go just through the 60s, 70s, 80s, or 60s, 70s, 80s, man, you'll see tons of different variations of that jersey, man. I like it a lot. Number 2, T, this is where I got one from you, man. That Black Signs jersey, one of the best NBA jerseys of all time. One of the best jerseys of all time.
Yes, sir.
No question, man. Yeah, I'd rock one of those today. And my number 1, not only is this my favorite all-time jersey, but it's the best font I've ever seen in my life. The all-black Timberwolves jerseys from the early 2000s, man, the ones KG was in. It's something about that font, man. If I could just get that font on my Microsoft Word, man, I'll be straight.
Hold on. That's the jersey with the little trees on it.
Yeah, them.
No. That's the one with just straight. It just say Timberwolves across the front. It's all black.
It got trees on it, bro.
On
the sleeve.
Oh yeah. On the collar.
Yeah, I'm about to wear that jump.
On the collar. Yeah, the collar. Yep.
You talk about the Marbury KG days.
Yeah. Because they had another one with like the mountains and stuff. I thought you were talking about that one. But yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, okay. My brother had that.
That font go crazy, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Nah, that joint was fire, bro. That joint was fire, definitely. All right, G, what top 5 hardest uniforms?
So I'm gonna do what Bryce did, but I'm gonna hit it earlier with the homerism. I'm gonna go with the old Giants red jersey that we no longer got to see. You don't longer get to see. I love those red jerseys. That's my first one. Hold it down now. And then my 4th favorite jersey of all time would be, I'm gonna go with the old school Chicago Bulls jersey, the one with Chicago gold lettering, cross right ahead with the slant. You don't even get to see those no more. I miss those jerseys. And then I'm gonna go with the U, baby. The U, the orange jersey. How you those nice orange jerseys?
Forgot about that.
I don't orange, but the Miami orange jersey, back in the old school days.
Orange visor though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm surprised you fellas couldn't get that one.
Yeah.
And then what? That's my 3rd, right? And now my second jersey. I'm gonna have to go with the Lakers, the purple, the gold jersey with the purple letterings around it.
A little time.
It's a classic.
Yeah.
Classic. Can't go wrong
And then
with
the best jersey of all time. The only jerseys when you go out and see these guys play that they don't have their last names, because you're supposed to know what player it is when you go see them. The Yankees. The Yankees jersey.
The
white, blue, pinstripes. Bro, so classic that when you go and catch those guys, all you need to get the numbers, and you better know who you watching to play. That Yankee jersey, bro. What you need, like some fresh Air Force Ones, lows or highs, some blue pants, a white tee on the low. You fresh all day.
On the low, though.
On the low, you can either go real poppy, just a white beater, or it's so hot, just the jersey.
Facts.
Button up, button down, whatever you want. The Yankees, baby.
Nah, that's definitely a classic. That was a classic. Some classics on there. I chose some classics as well. So I'm gonna start it off. Number 5 with the Oakland Raiders. Man, I know
No
they're just black, like for real. They're just black, man. But them Jones is clean, bro. They embody the spirit of the organization. If y'all don't feel that, y'all don't know. That's the renegade mentality. All black, black and silver. You feel me? The Raiders, like you know what time it is when you see the black and silver, man. That is a timeless jersey.
Yeah, it's time for my team to get a W when I see the black and silver.
Hey, well, that's also potentially true, but you feel me? That's I'm gonna put them on. I'm gonna put them. They made my top 5. You feel me? Number 4. Gotta rep the homerism. So I'm gonna go with the Kelly Green Eagles jerseys. I love the midnight green, but it was a decision. They probably need to go back to the Kelly Green. Every time we bring out the Kelly Green, it's all love. We always ball out. The Kelly Green, always a fan favorite. Number 3, I had the Phoenix Suns jerseys. I'm talking the same ones you had. Charles Barkley era. You feel me? I like the purple colors though. You feel me? Give me the one with the purple. Keep the black one. I don't want the black one. I want the purple with the orange. The color scheme on that is just too fire. My player on 2K, he is actually on the Suns and he got his own Jordans with the custom. It's a vibe. You don't know. You had to be there. All right. Now, number 2. Right, that's what number I'm on. Number 2. I'm wearing it right here. The Chargers. Baby blue. Powder blue. You feel me? The old school Chargers, Jones, every time they bring them things back, man, when LT used to wear it, it was love. Sean Merriman, all them boys. They ain't win no chips with them, but it's all good. And last but not least, man, number 1, I had the number 1. I had the Raptors. I had the Raptors jerseys, the ones with the big Raptor on the front, the hardest jerseys in sports, man. Because like when you got Vince Carter jumping out the gym, coming all crazy, slamming down your neck, and then you got them Raptors coming at you like that, big old Raptor, aggressive Raptor. Like you couldn't go with a better jersey. Classic jersey. So definitely that round. That's my number 1 jersey of all my classic jerseys.
Hey, I will say them powder blues are in my top 5 worst jerseys. Powder blues.
We got to bring that topic out.
Hey, we got to, man. Ain't
nothing worse than them damn Steelers Bumblebee Jones, though. Come on now.
Nah, that's a fact. Them
joints weak, bro. We might have to do it.
I'm surprised nobody dropped the Magics, the pinstripe Magic jersey. There's a couple ones we didn't get because we only had 5, but man, I mean y'all made some good ones, man.
Hey, well, T, you know, if the audience hears when we miss, be sure to jump in the comments and let us know what jersey we left out because there's a ton of jerseys and most of ours came from the NBA and NFL got some sleepers too. So please, guys, let us know what we missed. If you guys don't know where you can find us, that's probably crazy because you're watching us, but it's at Good Ass Sports on all platforms. If you don't have the Good Ass Sports app, jump in your app store, Google Play, type in the Gas Network, and make sure you 5-star. T, did I miss anything, bro?
Hey, man, subscribe to the podcast. We are on Apple and Spotify. Gas presents Sports for the Culture, man. Give us that follow, man. Let us be your commute. If you back to work or if you're working from home, man, we'll get you through your day. Follow us. IG, Twitter, anywhere you find social media, you can find us. YouTube, that's a big one, man. Subscribe to that YouTube. See what we look like. If you're out there and you're listening to the podcast world, don't just do the podcast. Switch it up every now and then. Get a good look at us, man. But I think we had a good show, fellas. As always, it was good to be here with you guys tonight. And let's wrap this thing up. Let me hear y'all say sports for the culture.
Sports for la cultura.